aspect of things. So Chappie Resources is basically the Chappie Lounge for fundraising. It's predominantly for LCC members, but Chappies have access to it as well. And it's full of fundraising resources. It's got activities, a bunch of ideas. It's got a whole bunch of template-y kind of things that you can utilize. And we, most of the articles that we put in the Chaplaincy Matters quarterly e-newsletter link through to Chappie Resources. So anything we put in the newsletter goes in here. If you're not receiving the Chaplaincy Matters quarterly newsletter, dig through your inbox. It might have fallen into the spam folder. And if you're still not getting it, get in touch with your FDM or similar to make sure that you're on the mailing list, because there's always some really good resources that we put in that for you guys to help do fundraising and stuff like that. So, but if you're just chasing stuff today, go to chappieresources.seqld.org.au. Some of the examples of things that are on that, things like chaplaincy dinner pack. So if you wanted to run your own chaplaincy dinner in your local area, we provide things like event work breakdowns, the banking deposit sheets, donation response forms, the sponsorship guides, budget templates like Excel spreadsheets and everything, and flyers and marketing stuff that you can just change the name on and print at school or whatever it might be. So there's whole templates for stuff like that. Similar for, say, if you want to run a sausage sizzle. Similar if you want to run a trivia night. We actually give you all the questions, the event registration forms and flyers and all that sort of stuff. There's a whole list of different things up there now, and we're adding to it all the time. And if you have other things that you want to do and you're like, man, I wish there was a template for this, email the pnc@seqld.org.au email address. Let us know what sort of stuff you need. We can't necessarily promise that we will produce all of the materials for your event right out of the gate, because we have a long list of stuff. We're working on it all the time, but we'd like to hear what the things you guys are running so that we can provide those templates for the future. There are also editable Chappie brochures available. So you can order Chappie brochures through the portal, and we print those for you and everything like that. But if you need to just quickly throw one together, we've got the templates there. We've got these guys, the Shout Your Chappie flyers. So this is a great way to sign people up for recurring giving. It's just a little DL flyer, basically. So the top of this is sort of the front, the back, the bottom of this is the back, and you can just hand it to people when you're talking to them. So you might meet with someone face to face, have a good conversation about the work, ask them to get involved, and leave this with them to return in their own time. If you want to do sponsorship for events, we've got example letters that you can use to help pitch to businesses for sponsorship. And via the My Chappie website or our chaplaincy website, you can get a dedicated online donation form URL that lands people on a page where it's pre-filled that the money will go to your chaplaincy committee. So you can share this with people on Facebook or email, and they click it. All they then have to do is put in the amount, their credit card details, and click go, and that money gets allocated straight to your LCC. So you find that by going onto our chaplaincy dashboard, and then there's a little link that called marketing resources, and in there's like a whole slew of different things. So all the brochure stuff I was just talking about, links to my chaplaincy resources, the online donation form URLs, all that kind of stuff's all in there. One of the other things that we're doing this year is changing the way that the frontline chaplaincy appeal dinners work. So if you don't know what this is, there's sort of 6 dinners that happen in major centres across Queensland, and they're a big event. Last year, across all 6 events, we raised $800,000. Now, traditionally, these have been set up to help fund the sort of corporate infrastructure of SU Queensland chaplaincy, And this year, for the first time, we're opening it up to LCCs who want to use it as a fundraising opportunity themselves. So we've got the 6 dinners: Brisbane, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, Townsville, Sunshine Coast, Rockhampton. In the Brisbane one, I'll use them as an example. We have about 1,200, maybe 1,300 people come. So that's sort of 130 tables of 10. And the idea is that this year you'll be able to bring along people that you would like to give to your LCC, or you can even fill out entire tables. We recommend that as an option. And a fair portion of the money you raise will go back to your LCC. Now, I say a fair portion because, of course, we have to make sure that the costs of the dinners are actually covered. And the finance team here are exploring what the cut looks like to make sure we get it right. We need it to be a sustainable thing that continues for years to come. But of course, at the same time, we want to make sure you guys raise as much money as we can. So if you are close to one of these major centres, or you can bring people to these dinners, jump on the website frontlineappeal.org.au to find out more information about where, when, how, who, why, etc. for each of those events. Hopefully the other thing that you're taking advantage of is the Champion Your Chappie campaign. This is a completely digital campaign, so it's super easy to set up a fundraising page. I'll show you how easy it is, and it's just 3 steps you go through to set up a page. We've been having amazing success. One of our chaplains has raised all the extra money they needed with the pricing changes through this platform. So if you're not using it and you're struggling with fundraising, this is a really easy step. It doesn't cost you anything to use. There's just obviously a 5.95% charge on donations given through the platform. But what we've been finding is 70% of people are actually checking a box on the donation form to say, I want to cover the charges. And so you really will see almost everything back to your LCC through this platform. We get payments from Everyday Hero every fortnight as lump sums, and it usually takes up to about 72 hours for us to kind of sort through that massive lump sum and figure out which LCCs it goes to. So basically, the long story short is every 2 weeks you'll see payments appear in your funding reports. So to get started, you just go to fundraise.suqld.org.au. You search for your local chaplaincy committee name, and super LCCs are in there as well. So if you've got like a district chaplaincy service, you can fundraise for them. And once you go to the school page, there's just a link for the Champion Your Chappie campaign. You click more details, and then you click register to fundraise. And once you've done that, it just steps you through 3 things. You put your photo up, you give the page a name and story, like this is why I'm fundraising, and you put in the amount you're trying to fundraise. For some LCCs, you might just choose to have like the chair or the chaplain set up the page, and you guys all just kind of share that link out to other people. But the Everyday Hero platform, you can set up teams as well, so you could have each of your LCC members or others create their own fundraising pages, and you can all join a team together and fundraise towards sort of one big goal if you want to do it that way as well. So there's a few different options available to you, but the simplest way is just get one person from the LCC to set up the registration supporter page, and then share that link out and via Facebook and email and whatever you can find to start fundraising. The videos that we've shown in this presentation are all available from the SU Queensland YouTube page. So you just go youtube.com/SUQLD and you'll find all the videos. So if you wanted to use, say, Pamela's story or Aaliyah's story in your own efforts, you can share those out from the YouTube. We've also got a fundraising policy in the works at the moment. And it will help guide you through the regulatory kind of stuff that we have in Queensland around fundraising and how we can keep ourselves out of trouble. So it deals with these kind of key headings, the legal stuff we have to comply with, what our actual values are, and the fact that we work out of those values. So we don't obviously take support from any organisation that's involved with prostitution or tobacco or very unethical stuff. But it also helps answer questions like, can we get receipt books? What do we have to do to run a fundraising event? Who can we accept gifts from? All of those kind of things. What's privacy like for supporters? And we have had some questions come up where it's like, do we trust Everyday Hero? They're taking, our donations. Well, yes, we have legal agreements with them. They are obligated to give that money to us because they're not actually taking it for themselves, they're taking it for us. So this policy helps deal with a few of those kind of questions. And I think it's a good document to kind of read through before you start doing tons and tons of fundraising, just to make sure you stay out of trouble and we do things well. That'll be coming out soon. If you're on the Chaplaincy Matters email list, you'll definitely get a copy of that. Further reading, just quickly a couple of little things that I thought I'd recommend. A lot of the biblical stuff that we've talked about up front here is from this book, If God Will Provide, Why Do We Have to Ask for Money? It's a really short book. It's 92 pages long. It costs $5 on Amazon. Very accessible read, but it just helps create that biblical foundation. So you're not feeling like the burden is all mine to carry. It's actually all God's, and we just follow his leading. There's a couple of blogs that are good. I quite like Jeff Brooks. He has this blog called Future Fundraising Now, and there's a podcast as well. Look, honestly, it's probably geared more towards us as professional fundraisers, but I think there is a lot of interesting stuff in there around working with donors and how you communicate to them and getting over those kind of, people say they want this, but they actually need this. And there's a lot of kind of mythbustery kind of stuff in there. It's good. The other one that's really good is sophie.org. It's UK based, so if you can see past the fact that a lot of the stuff they're talking about is the UK, and obviously the UK has gone through a lot of difficulties with fundraising, this website deals with a lot of that, and it's kind of like, look, we haven't done it well, this is how we can do it better. And there is some good sort of inspirational ideas and tools and techniques and stuff like that. But if you want to bounce ideas off our team, or you have a cool idea you want to explore, send us an email. We'd love to hear about it. We're always trying to keep an eye out on what others are doing and can give you a heads up on what's working and what's not. Unfortunately, we are, as time poor as anyone else. So I want to caveat it by saying it's not a case where we can always just drop things and produce a whole lot of stuff for you. But we are more than happy to talk and see what we can make available to you, or help try and connect you with people in your local area who, some businesses that are kind to us and stuff like that, who can help out. Definitely just email us or give us a call, and we'll see what we can do. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope that's been helpful. Please feel free to shoot us an email if you have any other questions, and we'll talk to you in the next one.